6 points. Are you pretty happy with that?
Yeah, I think anytime you don't let the other team in the end zone, that's a good thing. Once again, we played good in some areas, not as good in some. We got a lot of improvement to do, but I like where the guys are at. I like how they're working and they're not afraid to take criticism right now. And even though they won, not afraid to take criticism and try to get better.
You guys are top 5 nationally in turnovers forced this year. How much pride as a defense do you guys play?
I think the guys are embracing the fact that that's important to our staff. It's important to the defensive staff, also important to the offensive staff. Coach Frost talks about taking care of the football and getting turnovers. We talk about getting turnovers a lot. We drill it. And I think the guys are embracing that. So I'm happy that that's happening. I hope it keeps happening. I don't want to knock on wood. We don't talk about it too much in the media here, and then all of a sudden it stops. But that helps our football team tremendously.
What kind of problems they present?
One more time?
Can you talk about Illinois and what kind of problems they present?
Yeah, I think, obviously they've got a good scheme for quarterback run. The kid last year was a really good football player. He could run the football, almost a running back there. I think the new quarterback they have is a little better at working the system. He can pull it and be dangerous on the quarterback run, but he also can get the ball distributed to where he needs to. So I think he's a little bit better in the pass game than they had the previous year. But they have a nice system. They have some difficult passes to defend, some difficult run concepts to defend, and they make you play rules ball and get your eyes in the right spot at all times.
How important was it to get some of the younger guys out there Saturday and just get them on the field?
I think that was huge. Probably it's the fine line of growing up as a football team. When do you start subbing those guys out? Maybe if you're to the point where we'd like to be here, down the road, you get those guys out earlier and let them go out with just a little bit smaller of a lead and go operate and do some things. But it was good to have the ones finish a game off. It was good to get some of those young guys in there. Obviously, Braxton Clark got a pick, and that's good. He got a little taste, so now he's probably watching extra film now that he got a little extra pick. But it's great to get those guys in there.
It sounds like Braxton was pretty emotional after he got the pick. Did you kind of see that, or what do you think maybe led to that for him?
No, I think he was emotional. I think any time a young guy gets in and makes any play, it's huge. And when you make a pick as a DB, it's a really big thing. The only thing we talked to him about is he could have scored a touchdown, right? If he runs the play like we talk about all the time, we score another one, and next time he's going to do that. So it was good film, good and the bad part of that. Great for that kid to get in the football game and get a pick and make a great play. But that probably helped his confidence tremendously.
How helpful was JoJo in that game? You guys have now sort of have the nickel, and he's the guy there. How is his versatility helping a game like that? How much better is he getting?
Yeah, I think JoJo, like I said before, you can call him the nickel, you call him whatever you want. I don't know what to call him most of the time, but he can operate in some of those nickel packages where he's more of a quote unquote nickel DB. He can operate in base where he's a Sam. So it gives you an opportunity to run your even and odd stuff with the same personnel on the field, which I think is always probably a little bit harder for an offense when they've got to prepare for both packages. They don't see us subbing in, a true DB and say, all right, here we go, 4 down. It's going to be these coverages, these fronts. When he's in the game, it's all holds, no holds barred. So I think he gives us a lot of advantages just from a scheme perspective.
He seems pretty natural at that ability to tackle with kind of sweep of the leg. Is that something you guys teach, or is he just good at that?
Yeah, so we teach different kind of tackles, and he's been really effective. Those type of tackles are when the ball carrier is running away from your leverage, and he's been really good at doing that. He's special teams, it shows up for him, and in defense it shows up for him. But he's a pretty good tackler overall. I think he understands the different types of tackles and what his leverage is.
On that goal line stand, what did you see your team both confidence-wise and maybe scheme-wise?
Yeah, I think, do we want to get down on the one? No, absolutely not. But that's a huge play for a defense. That's a huge play to grow up, especially for some of those young guys. I mean, you had, Damian Daniels in there, and then Eli Sullivan gets put in the football game. So not only is it big scheme-wise, is it big for our confidence, but also those guys see some players that are not quote-unquote starters out there making big-time plays. So just the trust in those guys, the confidence in those guys, the confidence that we can be put in any situation and get the job done, it was huge for our team.
How does the way
way that you practice prepare, you know, the 2s and the 3s to come in when maybe there's an injury?
Yeah, I think the way we practice, you're always developing players because it's never like, you know, like when you're in the NFL, we had whatever 12 reps in the team period, and the starters got 8, and the 2s got 4, and the 3s got 0. Here we're getting, you know, equal amount of reps for the 1s and 2s, and then the 3s are getting reps too. Not all the 3s, but the 3s that are with the, you know, the travel party. But everybody on the team is getting equal reps. It's not you know, 75-25. It's 50-50. So those guys are getting as many reps as the other guys. That develops our team. The way we rotate players, just because of the nature of our offense, we're in there for, you know, 90+ plays. When we keep rotating players, that grows those kids up too. So I think Coach Frost does a really good job with the developmental piece of our team.
Northern Illinois' coach was really complimentary of Darian Daniels. Looking back on that game, what was he doing that made him so good?
Well, I think he's obviously a 340-pound man that it's really hard to block, really hard to move, but he's also pretty bouncy. So when he's running, you know, twists and games and all those kind of things, he can move like a 280-pound guy. So he's very quick, very aggressive, and he's stout at the point of attack. And, you know, for a big guy, he can rush the passer too.